anything. Now, this may be extreme to the common person who's not black, but for us, this is a reality. This is what we have to do just to make it home. Peace and love, peace and love. We are back with my brothers for another go round. PCP podcast. PCP. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment, all of the above. We are on all social media platforms, from YouTube to Instagram to Anchor to Apple Podcasts, you name it. We are there. Look for us. You will find us. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that, as I just said. So we are in some trying times, but just before we kick it off, man, I'm gonna go around, check in, make sure everybody's good and ready. Let's start down south, bottom of the map. Nas, what's up, baby?
Let's go, man. I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right, man. Let's go back up to the Midwest. Lo, what's good, man? You here? What's happening?
George Floyd, Breonna Taylor.
Let's do it. All right, man. We're gonna swing it out to the West Coast. It's supposed to be the best coast. G, what's up, man?
Hey, man, I'm out here and I'm in the building. Let's do it.
All right, now swing it over here to our side, my side. Out here in the DMV, DC. Mean, check in.
What's good, people? You know what I'm saying? In the building. Y'all thought we was done. We back at y'all. Holla at your boy.
We right back like we never left. All right, man. So yeah, man, so much to talk about, man. These are some trying times, man. And this, we just got to keep it going, man. I think there's so much dialogue to be had here, man. There's so much to be talked about to enlighten people, to just do it just for the culture, man, of our folks, for the generations to come, our children, our grandchildren. We got to talk about these things, man. So in light of all of the protests and everything that's happening, the one thing that has that gets under my skin is, you know, the fact that there is, like, now enough is enough. And to me, it bothers me because this is really no different from what has happened over the years, man. Like, so what do y'all think is the difference this time around versus, you know, the 90s, the 60s, 2014, 2015? Like, you know, like what is it about this time around that makes it so different for people to supposedly so-called get it?
I think it's a couple different factors. One, I'll say the obvious, social media. You know, as they say, things are taped now, and you can watch it over and over and over. It's a huge one. But another thing that I don't think people are really talking about is we are a lot more vocal as a people than, you know, our parents and their parents. You know, I don't want to say it kind of was the slave master mentality where, you know, don't look somebody in the eye, or, don't feel your say a white person's equal or something like that. You know, I think we're a lot more empowered, you know, to stand up for ourselves as a people. So I think that is huge in this day and age. But of course, you know, we're still going through the same things that, you know, our elders went through, you know, but it's, you know, it's being outlets. But I do love the fact that, you know, we are a lot more vocal, and we get behind each other as a people, rather than, you know, kind of, shy away from things because maybe you putting yourself in jeopardy of getting a job or, losing something, in your neighborhood or something like that. I think we are a lot more vocal as a people.
But see, and I want to respond to that, man, because to me that doesn't say too much. Not to you, but I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, because all I can't help but think, when the whole George Floyd thing transpired, man, all I could think about, like, I was uneasy about Philando Castile. That was the brother who was a registered gun owner. He was the passenger in another car, and he was shot to death on camera. Like, it was on video. It went viral and everything. And to me, it's just like, if this same outrage that's happening for George Floyd would have happened with Philando Castile, then George Floyd would still be living, possibly. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we would have started this whole movement of change and let's push legislative policies and whatever in place from that, because both of these incidents happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have saved somebody's life. So, it bothers me again because, like, this isn't new, man. Like, black people didn't just start dying by the hands of the police with George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? It's been happening. So,
Dale, I think
the same type of outrage should have happened years ago. I
think that I think the media has a lot to do with it.
Ooh, speak on that.
Even with Colin Kaepernick, right? Like, Colin Kaepernick was kneeling way before we found out he was kneeling. He had been kneeling for them games. Nobody talked about it except one reporter happened to mention it in a segment he did in the paper, and that got some steam for some reason. And so it wasn't like, like that day he made a decision. And it just depends on what social media decides we gonna listen to or take part in. And so that's part of the scary thing. It's like, you're right. And we've had deaths since then, since George Floyd. Like, we've already had Black people die at the hands of police since this massive civil unrest has occurred because of this incident or several incidents and this happened to be the straw that broke the camel's back. I just think that the media really dictates to us what we're going to care about and what we're going to decide we're going to hang our hat on sometimes. Because you're right, which the outrage should have been there, and it had been. And it grassroots wise, people have been protesting. People have been doing little things to show the movement has never been dead, even from the old age, the older folks. But they won't talk about that in the media. They won't discuss those kind of things. But then, like, something like this, where it goes viral, it becomes a wave. And sometimes it's intentional, and sometimes it just catches the wave.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Nash that the journalistic integrity is different. We have what's called Internet of Things now, so it's so many platforms on how you capture information and how it's reported that you have so much amateur journalism and documentation of how people are actually recording these events. It's so much different from when our parents grew up because, again, you can trust a journalist back then to actually, give you a storyline that from their account, from their testimony, but it wasn't filtered as much as it is now with social media, iPhones. I mean, if you think about it, man, cats can have their own personal blog. They can have their own personal, reporting, and they got all the tools, to get out. You can get it. I mean, you can get it from Amazon. You can get it from Apple. I mean, so it's just different. You know what I'm saying? I think the rules to the game of how it's being reported has changed. Also, I'll say, I mean, it's no shot against us. It's not that the fact that we're not as woke as our previous generations, but I just think, like, my parents' generation, man, they was willing to go 100. You know what I'm saying? With the peaceful sit-ins and all those, all those real marches that were happening back then. I mean, it was just a different mentality back then because, I mean, they they set the tone for what we're going through right now. It's just sad that it's still going on like this. But yeah, I agree with Nas, man. It's just the journalistic integrity is just different. It's all about narrative and entertainment, and there's no truth being told of what the situation is.
First and foremost, man, I want to say that them shades is fly as hell, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. I respect the shade game. Next, I think I'm gonna take it a step further, man. Because I see what all of y'all are saying, like the internet and the recording and all of that. But again, you know, when we talk back to Philando Castile and countless others, man, I don't want to downplay Tamir Rice. I don't want to downplay Stephon Clark. I don't want to downplay Eric Gardner. It's countless others, man. It's so many. They all were captured during this time, during this social media time. It's on video, it's shared, and the outrage should have happened then, and it was fucking with me because I'm like, man, why? Like, why all of the outrage? Why now? Why? And I think personally, I feel like the difference, Lil MD, what's up, man? I feel like the difference now is that people aren't talking about is the fact that we were quarantining,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like people. The stars were aligned, man.
Yes,
sir.
You
know what I'm saying? People at home, people don't have money. 40 million people are without jobs.
Right.
And on top of all of that, we got the monster of the social media.
Right.
And, I think now that because the millennials and shout out to the millennials, man, because the young people, man, they are the ones who have the loudest voices in this time, because all of the sharing and all of the posting, is really for the young people, man. And I mentioned this
for the
before.
Children.
Yeah, I mentioned this before in a previous cast. Well, actually, people never see it because we scrapped it. But I mentioned on one of the casts that, you know what I'm saying, it's going to come a time, man, where these kids aren't going to just settle for explanations that you give them. These kids ask why. And if they don't get the answer, they're going to Google it. It's at the tip of their fingertips. So,
hey, Dale,
you know what I'm saying?
I think
they're not settling for this shit. They're not settling because racism, let's get to it. Racism is a learned behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like they learn that shit. So I think back in the day, people who learned racism had no choice but to just accept it for what it was. They didn't have resources that are available to the young kids now. So now, you know what I'm saying, the kids the truth is right at the tip of their fingers. You know what I'm saying? And so they can go out here and they can boycott and they can protest and they can do all of those things. So I think it's a combination of the millennials, the people that's at the forefront of this, and then the fact that people are quarantined and was at home, and that people are fed up and tired. Not to take away from none of y'all's points either, because I definitely think the programming perspective of the news media and all of that plays a big part in this too. But I think that a major component in all of this is the whole COVID-19 and people being home. The stars was aligned, man. That's what I think.
Hey, I totally agree, man. That's exactly what my point was going to be, is that, this effect, this change that's happening is we were all at the crib, you know what I mean? And, with a little bit of time off, some of, with a little bit of money in the pocket, maybe not everybody, but a little bit to hold you over. And I think a lot of, if y'all notice, man, COVID shit started dying down some, as far as the media portraying it and how it's affecting, and people are dying from it. So they tucking that away.
That shit gone.
What they're trying to do with that is lift these restrictions for people to be able to go and go back to work, because then if they go back to work, then they don't have as much time to go outside and protest what they out there fighting for. So don't sleep, because that's what's happening, bro. They lifting these motherfucking what's the names so they can therefore send people back to work. That's what's happening. I feel also like it's like, Dale, like you said, I mean, like anything else, things metastasize and change, right? So like, just like even this COVID, you know, supposedly was a COVID before, and this is just a new version, a new strain of the COVID, because it gets used to the atmosphere and all the antibodies, that stuff that they throw at it, and it creates a new version of itself. And that's the same way with the movements, right? Like these young kids, you know, we have been talking shit about the millennials, and, you know, they lazy and they don't know what's going to come next. But that's all a product of what happened the generation before that. You know what I'm saying? There's no jobs for these kids. There's no direction. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing for them to really hold on to, because they starting to see that all of the things that the American dream ain't really a dream. I mean, it is a dream. It's all it is. And so they starting to see, they're metastasizing. They changing. They not the same. They're not going to, you know, do the same thing that our forefathers had to do. They don't have to. It's the reason why our forefathers did what they did, is because they can stand up and do something else. Like you still got to fight, but your fight going to be a different fight, and your approach going to be a different approach. And that's what's happening with these young kids. Like, look, I know what happened before. I've heard about it, but we ain't gonna stop putting our thumb down on you. We're not gonna stop the pressure, which is an amazing thing to see. Like, you know what I mean? It's great to see these young people and all types of people, not just Americans. Let's also put that into perspective. Like, it's people in other countries and stuff that are pushing that narrative right now. And it's twofold to me, because everybody is tired of being oppressed. Everybody is tired of being marginalized. Everybody is tired of the governments doing whatever they want and being these grand, with money makers, and everybody else is poor. Like, everybody tired of it. And so they push it for us, because that movement is a movement that they can understand. The 1% is the 1% all over the world, not just in America. So like those people in London and all of these other places that are protesting, and I mean in hundreds of thousands, these people are coming out, speaking out about, because they tired of seeing it too. And they understand what it all means for everybody. And so that movement, I think, is an impressive thing to see.
Man, hey, big shout out to one of our little chapter brothers, Tyler, man. Real proud, like I was talking about earlier, man, with the youth movement. Yeah. It was real proud to see the brothers on the yard, man, leading marches. I went to his Instagram page, and actually on our Z Chapter Alpha's page, man, he was leading one of the marches in Cleveland, man. And again, it's making the young guys more aware of what's going on. I forgot the young artist that's out right now, but my man, Lil Baby came out with a nice track, man.
Shit hot.
It's hot, you know what I'm saying? And we was talking about momentum. That song right there for the youth movement,
that's
and
big.
For their generation,
yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, that's gonna be the wave for them. You know what I'm saying? They make them more consciously aware. And I mean, ain't nobody knocking the fact that they kick it and they flow. Because I mean, when we was younger in our age, we was doing the same thing. But a big shout out to Lil Baby, man, for just doing that, man. Because I was surprised when I seen it. I was like, wow, Lil Baby actually just dropped some fire, like some real fire. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm happy to see that.
And this is kind of off, man, but it really, we're all black, man, so we live this, and it's hard to accept that, white people just don't get it, or they are blind to it. But I bought some Spike Lee gear, and I bought some merch for his Do the Right Thing collection. And it's crazy because they killed Radio Raheem the same fucking way, man.
Right.
Like they choked out Radio Raheem, man. And if you go back and you listen to NWA and they talk about police brutality, you talk about Pop, like, this shit is old, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm numb to it, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to George Floyd, man. What happened to him is terrible, and what happened to everybody else is terrible too. So it just gets to me, just like, man, y'all getting it now? Like, man, God bless. If we would have found this, if we'd have came to our senses so much longer ago, man, we could have saved so many other people's lives, man. So I mean, am I alone in feeling that way, or anybody else feel that way, or is it just me?
No, I mean, I feel like, man, we should have been a little bit more consciously awoke on these issues, and I mean, a lot, like you said, a lot of the lives could have been spared. But I think, we talk about the vices that we live with, right? I mean, our culture, man, we get into this mode that we love the flaws, we love to kick it, and we purchase, like Nas was talking about in the last cast. I mean, we like to support stuff that ain't really pushing our agenda. You see what I'm saying? We get caught up in that materialistic and spending money on the wrong things, and we could have been building a movement, that could have saved lives today. So you're exactly right. I agree, man.
For real. Nobody else feel that way? Nobody else share them sentiments?
I mean, I think we all do, to a certain extent. I mean, as a person of color, I mean, I guess you have to feel that way, right? I mean, because that's in our DNA. But it's just unfortunate to me. I will never get numb to what's going on out here. I mean, I refuse to. I think it's something you have to tell yourself. That's just like more and more happens. You know what I'm saying? I guess the matter, the more, if that's a word, more frustrating I get. But it's never something to be numb about, or like it can't ever be the norm. I mean, something has to be the change, and we got to put our efforts right into different things. But I think as we talked to the last cast, I mean, Dale, I'll go back to the legislative part of it. You pour your money. We keep talking about money, putting money into this, but a lot of stuff really doesn't take money. It takes sweat equity. You got to get behind people, right. And And the campaign and things like that. So we always talk about money, but I think because here's the thing: you're always gonna have your money man, right? I mean, whoever it is, if you have a business or a campaign, whatever it is, you have your people who's gonna handle the money. Your little $100 and things like that is not going to work as good as the effort you put in to the campaigning part of it, going door to door, knocking, going to the city council or whatever meetings. You know what I'm saying? The protesting, the marching, it does help. I mean, that's all sweat equity. That stuff what really matters. I mean, that's in my opinion, because the money, the people with the money is not the $100 people who's going to get a button and maybe a sticker and a T-shirt. It's the people when they have these fundraising dinners, $25,000 a plate. That's the money people. I mean, like let's be honest. I mean, those people who's really gonna put the money up, and they ain't gonna be out here knocking on doors and doing things that we can't be doing, who can influence our people. So that's the change that has to be made, man. Like, and we can't feel that our vote doesn't count.
Yeah, you talking about them super PACs, whether it's blue or red, but the super PACs that's that sweat equity that you're talking about. You're exactly right.
Yep.
Yeah, I was listening to the brothers from Earn Your Leisure. Those some good guys. I was listening.
Who's that, bro?
Earn Your Leisure.
Okay.
G put me on to them guys, the Earn Your Leisure guys, and he was telling a story about he came up corporate, and he was basically like the only guy that worked in a Jewish space, and he was just like, man. The Jewish guys, they sent out an email fundraiser. It was just an email. It wasn't like a dinner. It wasn't a foundation. They just sent out an email, and he said, dog, like hundreds of thousands in donations. Yeah. So to your point, that makes perfect sense, man. You got people who gonna do the donating, and then you got the other people that's gonna do the sweat equity work, the going on doors and knocking.
Now, hey Dale, to add though, those super PACs, they also develop policy too. They raise money, but they also have people on staff that set policy agendas for whatever candidate they gonna back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean that's the major part that I mean, I don't know of any Black or African American super PACs that we can rely on to put people in position that we need to put them in. I mean,
we can do it. We got the
Alpha Phi Alpha.
Well,
Phi
yeah.
Alpha.
First you
Well,
get
that is
Go,
where I
Jay.
wanted to go. I kind of want to transition into that. More specifically, we're all part of a Greek-led organization. What do you feel like is the panhandle? I can't never say the word, but you know what I'm saying. The Divine Nine's responsibility in today's social climate. How can we be more impactful? Your thoughts on that as Greek-led fraternities and sororities?
In government, G?
Great question. Let's stay local first, and then we can transition to government.
From what I've seen, I would say you gotta be active first in the organization first, and then once you have those members that have been financial for a while, then you can develop those internal political action groups within the fraternity itself to present a brother who may want to run for office, for governor, mayor, alderman, whatever the case may be. But again,
let me. I think that's too broad when we talk legislation and government. Let's take it away from that. Let's take it more feet on the ground in relation to something similar to a Black Panther, like, you know what I mean, Black Panther Party. Like, what could we do to our limits on the ground today as Greek-led organizations?
I believe that they have the ability, due to youth and a great opportunity, to be foot soldiers for a lot of the protests, like taking what the protest movements are doing right now to structure it, to organize that, and to keep those efforts going and be a voice. Starting with gathering up other students of these campuses and continuing these different efforts on like you just said, G, boots on the ground.
Right.
Come up with their ideas.
Brother Fears, you on mute, brother.
So to be a vehicle for a lot of these movements that are going on right now, I think they have the time outside of class, but they can keep their ears to the streets. They don't have to necessarily be worried about going to a job 8 hours a day. They can put forth a lot of energy and effort, and they can be soldiers for a lot of these movements and continue them and organize. Because I mean, you can only have like these protest movements for so long, but you can take those protests, the ideas and the missions behind these protests, and you can mobilize them through the NHPC and these campuses and students. They can continue those same movements. They can speak to they can have ongoing marches, ongoing protests, and mobilize those efforts. And I think that's one way they could do it. And they could drive home a lot of education to these other students as they come into these colleges, especially like, some of our white counterparts who, like what Lo was saying, like what we were talking about earlier on the last cast about not knowing, they can be informative when they get on these campuses, and just be a better vehicle on the ground, boots on the ground. They can be soldiers.
I like that, Fees, actually. You are 100% right. Even from like the alumni, Divine Nine, absolutely should be pressing it down to the actual people on the yard as a vessel. That's what they gotta be doing. Like, I mean, like that's huge. I mean, I think that's probably one of our biggest assets and things we could be doing. G, to your question, as making sure our chapter people are pushing our agenda that we agree on to the masses. Because I mean, you got to be 18 to vote, right? So I mean, Why not get your 18, 19, 20-year-olds people get on your agenda to swerve your way? Those people you got to go after, because at the end of the day, to be honest with you, if you can get that vote, those people who don't necessarily understand and care how the government, they're just like, okay, I'm voting, I'm happy. Let's be honest. I'm young, I'm voting, I got my sticker, I'm happy. Those people, that's a good angle to go after. But I think the Divine Nine needs to, I guess, get on the same page. I mean, as a unit, and not necessarily as Alpha, as Kappa, as whatever. I think we already have our total agree upon agenda, and let's get that pushed, whatever that may look like. Because I mean, you may know how many Greeks are, that we have in America. I think we all need to get on the same page and come together and back one agenda.
Yeah, and the thing is that I hate to say this sounds so good, and if we could unify like that, if we could have a solid movement. The problem is internally we have our own political agendas, and I'm not saying those political agendas are wrong. I mean, that's just the way the organizations are structured. But I think we focus too much on the internal agendas and not the one agenda that you're talking about, Lo.
Gotcha. So isn't that, would you say that's a downfall of not even Greek, but our people as a whole?
Yeah, not to be funny, we haven't been taught the game like that. Of course we were brought over here on slave ships, but nobody schooled us on the politics game and how to galvanize your community and ensure that, our community and our, back to the tribalism thing, that our tribe is going to be set up for the next 4 or 5 generations. So yeah, that is a barrier that we go through, because we don't know the game like that. You know what I'm saying? We all we do is just we try to interpret the game, and the small percentages of people that do know the game, we don't want to share the knowledge. So that's another aspect of the game too. It's just like you go to some middle class or upper class neighborhoods and you see some brothers and sisters and they give you that look like, man, I got mine. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm with them. And that's an issue.
Listen, can I be honest? So I live in a fairly nice neighborhood, as you guys know.
I wasn't taking the shot, but go ahead.
No, but hold on. I got a good one for you. So I have a neighbor. So he lives, so the house directly across from me, he lives to the left. So literally, I can see his door, right? African-American man, I'm saying, married, got a son. Ask me how many times I've talked to this man since I've lived here.
Probably 0.
-0.
Wow. He don't even look at you?
Man, listen. It hurt my heart when I moved in. I'm like, oh yeah, it's good. I'm saying, thought he could come see me or whatnot. I see him. Just a wave, and hey, everybody else can bring gifts and all this. Hey, welcome to the neighborhood. That man ain't said not one thing to me. Granted, obviously I don't know who he is. He don't know who I am. But it's just like, come on. He's older too. He gotta be like in his early 50s, late 40s. You would think, we could have connected. Like, hey man, I'm proud of you. You know what I mean?
Or look, I got some knowledge for you.
Exactly. Like, what do you need? You say, how can I help you? This, that, and the third. But it's been 4.5 years now, man.
Is he your age, Lo? Is he older? Is he an older gentleman? Younger?
Later 40s, early 50s.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying, like, I'd have talked to, I'm one of the OGs on the street now. I'd have talked to we commence every weekend. This man don't even look this way. Crazy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Do we stay right next door to Buddy?
Literally.
That's
literally
crazy.
To the left.
It's crazy.
They be like, what's up with your man? I'm like, okay, see, my man is because he's my color. Yeah. Wow.
This dude a black dude?
Yeah.
Black brother, black man.
But
black man.
You know what? That don't surprise me, unfortunately, man. We got to divide within ourselves. That don't surprise me at all, man.
Confront that shit, man. Confront that shit, bro. Go to him with a motherfucking cheese basket, man, and have a conversation with him on the porch, man.
Well, here's the thing, G. It's been, I mean, it's 4 years too late now. I mean, if I see him, I'm gonna say something wrong to him at this point. We have a conversation like, dude, what like, you a weirdo to me. I mean, I hate that. But even, matter of fact, I think one time, like, my mom waved at him. He didn't wave back. Like, I mean, man, yes, like, come on.
That's disrespectful right there. I don't like that.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, look, I got a similar. And I'm sorry. No, I'm chiming in. I'm a little late, guys. In my apologies.
No, you good. You
good, brother. Go ahead, brother. Cook.
So where me and Jen, where we were living when we were together, it was me. To my right was a white couple. To my left was a older white family, and next to the younger white couple was a black family, and then across the street was these two gay dudes. So, nice little mix. The older white family, you would look at them and stereotype them like they gotta be some racist crackers. They spoke to us every single day. Asked about the kids, would joke with me, would joke with Jen, you know what I'm saying? Gay couple across the street, 100 would always speak. I'm talking about like, they even would come over like, man, like when the power was out, like, y'all good, y'all need anything? I remember one time Jen had locked herself out. They came, dude was on his way to work. He stopped, helped Jen get her in the car, all this other stuff. The younger white couple, we kind of had a problem with. The chick, she was kind of full of shit. Her boyfriend, he was cool. But the black family, it was like competition almost. You know what I'm saying? Like stack. Now, eventually, they spoke. Eventually. But it was like this, like two rams at first. Like, we got to fill each other out first. And that right there, we do that to each other, man. Yep. We do that to each other. The gay couple, man, we could literally, they came over, we exchanged numbers like, well, if y'all ever need anything, this is our number, da-da-da-da. Super cool. They would come, sit on the porch, chop it up. It's crazy, man.
G, speak to that, man, because I know you work in mental health, man, and I feel like all of that ties back to like generational trauma and everything that we've been through as a people, man. Let me know what your feelings is on that.
Briefly, I will. Briefly, we got a neighbor that's next door too, that's black, and she's always next door talking to the Hispanic folks and then the white people across the street. You know what I mean? It took her a minute to speak to me, and for her and Kendall, don't speak at all. I don't know what that's about. You know what I mean? I can't grab it. They don't even look our way, kind of thing. But she started speaking to me. It's a little bit different now, but they still don't talk. I don't understand that. But just from a generational standpoint, I don't want to make blanket statements, but what I will say is I'll speak to, like you said, there's a level of competition. One, and then when you move into that same neighborhood, kind of what Lo was saying, then they're what I say is that they're judging themselves based off you. Like, you're not as good as me, so you're beneath me. Yeah, you're over here, but I can't quite understand why you're here, so I won't even take the time to figure that out, right? And I think that's more of that, because uppity ain't nothing worse to me than an uppity black ass person, bro.
Right.
I can deal with a racist person. You know what I'm saying? I know where you are. I know that you don't fuck with me. I can,
preach.
With gay people, I'm, it's all gay people are cool with me, but the ones that I really fuck with are the ones that be like, yo, I see them flagging their flag. You know what I'm saying? Waving their flag, because then I understand where you at with it. But these motherfuckers that be like thinking they better than you, right? In the same neighborhoods, that, you know what I'm saying? They always, looking at you crazy or sideways, or, you can feel them sizing you up, bro. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And why I don't know it. Yeah. But I do feel like it's a level of competition that's built within each other that's reverse or interracial. I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying, but you get what I'm saying. It's hate, bro. And we be the main one.
The crabs in the barrel.
That's what I'm looking for.
Just like what you said, G, about Kendall and old girl.
Yeah.
The chick and Jen never spoke, dude.
Never spoke.
And even Jen will be like, I don't understand. She speaks to you, will speak to my kids, but she won't even say nothing to me.
That's the same thing. That's the same exact thing.
Like, it's crazy. Because I would see her like on my own. Hey, how you doing?
Right.
And I would be in the house and see Jen maybe go to the car for work and she crickets.
Maybe I don't know, but you get what I'm saying. I think what they don't want is two things that's happening there.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm generalizing. I'm not specific to you or me. I think in stuff like that, what could happen is that one, the person that's the neighbor don't want your wife to think that they're looking at you in a certain type of way. And two, the wife could be sizing that bitch up like, yo, don't be checking for my man. It's not saying that that's us. I'm just saying that that's a part of that dynamic sometimes.
Hey, we didn't get too much competition with each other as black people, man.
That's the nuts and bolts of it. It's too much of it.
We didn't get the report from South Florida, man. How they be treating ass down there though? I need to know. Like,
he a king. He out there playing tennis with Agassi.
Right. Nah, man, never that. Never that. How they treat me like what? Like what you mean?
How many African Americans do you have? Neighbors do you have in your neighborhood?
There are a couple. A few. The few that I've met. Actually, you mentioned tennis. There's a young lady that plays tennis with her family, and they saw us and spoke to us and that kind of deal. A lot of what we experience is the crab in the barrel mentality was again put in place, for a purpose. The way that they manipulated our minds to back in slavery time. You can't not look at that kind of stuff because there's a reason why we do it. It ain't like we do it for no reason. People are like, well, why don't you just not do it? Well, we were programmed to do it. We were programmed to, when you see somebody getting a little, you got to try to, clip them off just because you don't want them to get enough. Like, what if I don't get enough? Like, that's not even how we are as people. We're so forgiving and so understanding and so in our blood is just how we are. But they tried to program us into being like them, like cut people's leg off despite, like just chop folks down. You don't need them. Like that ain't how we roll. We village raise a child. We village helps each other out. We all about the village. That's what we come from. Right. They the ones that's crab in the barrel. They just taught us to think that way. Yeah, and so it's just really for us to start loving ourselves and understanding our value again, to not, when you see somebody, I think one of the best examples of that was Erykah Badu and Jill Scott for the verses, right? A lot of the verses, they it's already pinning each other against somebody for some reason, just because it's the sport of what we do as human beings. But they set the tone from the beginning. This ain't none of that. This is love from one black woman to another black woman. It ain't going to be no competition. Ain't going to be no only one person can win. Because that's what a competition is. It got to be a winner, right? Like it got to be somebody at the top. But if we take that mentality away, then everybody can win. And it don't matter if you get off. You should be getting off. And I should be supporting you getting your shit off. Like I should be right there cheering you on. Yeah. And then when I get mine, cheer me on.
Period.
Yeah, that's big facts.
Check it. So in the spirit of this segment, the segment started out a conversation about what's the difference. One last thing that I want to talk about here in this segment is it's supposed to be another march. In August, I believe.
August 28th.
August 28th.
JB Day weekend.
Yes, sir.
Feelings on that. thoughts on this upcoming march? Where y'all at with it?
Man, I'm gonna say something controversial, man, because I mean, okay. So I'm for the march. I am so for the march. I think it's a perfect strategic point, politically and for the movement. You know, if we're gonna, I guess, solidify our vote for our next leader of the free world, I think the march is gonna have a big influence on that. The only problem I have is how it was announced and who was in charge of it. Big Al. I mean, Big Al has a history of just propaganda and that narrative game that he play all the time. And I'm not saying his intentions weren't good at the funeral, but at the same time, man, you know, he one of them city slicker cats, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think if we are gonna have the march, I don't think Al Sharpton is the guy to be leading it. And that ain't no slander against his name. That's just my opinion. I think it should be a collective unit of our leaders that's planning it. And if we're going to do it, we need to do it right and do it safe, you know, pending the COVID virus pandemic that we in. But I'm just not a fan of Mr. Sharpton leading the voice for the march in August.
Right. When did y'all say like Al Sharpton is kind of like not Al Sharpton anymore? You know what I mean? Like, does his name still hold weight? So
no.
Right, yeah. So listen, like you are totally right, man. Like it was like, oh, okay, Al. I think everyone sit back and was like, damn, okay, Al Sharpton doing this. But I feel like, man, it's weird. It's great we're doing something, right? I mean, we got to do something. We all know that. But I think you hit the nail on the coffin with the COVID, all this stuff. I mean, if we know as a people, if I'm a leader in the African American community, you know, and I know that this real virus that is overtaking, you know, the world is coming after, you know, our people. It's kind of hard for me to plan something that's going to bring, you know, maybe a million people of our descendants to one location. And please believe everybody who's coming to DC is not coming to march. So these happy hours, these restaurants, these clubs are going to be wall to wall with no social distancing, no mask. So,
right.
But see, to play devil's advocate, dog, because that should be the case now. I mean, like we had a protest a march last week in DC.
I understand what I'm saying, Dale. Absolutely, I get it. But what I'm saying is, if I'm a black leader, if I'm trying to lead the black movement, I'm bringing 1 million people. Like people are going to show up for this.
Yeah, it's
like I mean, like we going to show up. So I think that was kind of you know, I guess premature. It was kind of, you know what I'm saying, not the right move. I mean, like
the only, you know what, the thing is, Lo, something had to be there. It's a fine line. Something had to be done now.
Absolutely.
While it's relevant.
Somebody would have did it. Yeah.
While it's relevant. And I mean, you know, you got COVID, you got this race war. It's like, damn. But because it couldn't, I think this will bring a lot of awareness even more and I think eventually once the march happens and it gets going, ain't nobody even going to be thinking about the brother Al Sharpton. Most people probably don't even know that he's the one that's orchestrating it. But I'm on the fence. I think this is awesome. And I want 2-3 million people. I want us to be just to black that whole city out. You know what I'm saying? I think it just comes down to responsibility, Lo. I mean, I'm going. I'm gonna have my mask though. I'm not gonna be out there naked. You know what I'm saying? And I just hope that everybody can do it responsibly. You know, it's not gonna be. That's where your responsibility comes in on the backdrop of all of this race war, which is the old news, which is COVID-19. You know what I mean? You just You just gotta be smart. Don't. You gotta be multitasking in your mind. You know what I'm saying? But it has to be done, and you gotta do it now.
But fees, absolutely. But there's a reason why Live Nation has canceled all these concerts.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, all these festivals are canceled that were planned for the summer, and August is still the summer. There's a reason for that.
No, I get it. I get it, Lo.
Like, I understand the time is now, but man, my people. I mean, this is.
What can I ask a question? What's the march? What is the march supposed to do?
It's
that's a good goddamn question.
Excellent. It's supposed to, I guess, raise awareness for injustice, social injustice.
That's happening right now. We got protests.
Hold on, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me. It commemorates the
60
anniversary
years from Martin Luther King March on Washington.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm just asking the question. What is the march supposed to do?
I think it's going to raise awareness. They're going to have a lot of speeches, whatnot, at that large multitude. People remember that march on Washington with Martin Luther King to this day. There's been many marches since then, but they remember that one though. And I think a large presence like that, people recognize that and they know that. And I think it's going to be important. And I just think the presence, the multitude of people that will show up and be there, to me, in my opinion, speaks volumes.
Man, speak what's on your mind, dog.
Man, I'm just asking. For me, I mean, stall me out on it. Yeah. I was at the Million Man March. It was impressive. It was life changing for me as far as just seeing what happened there. But as I get older and an older black man now, I don't need no more remembrance. I don't need no more reminders. I don't need no more anniversary of so we got to go back out there and march to what?
So you think all these marches that they're doing now are pointless?
I'm saying we're talking about this particular march in August, right? I'm saying
a march is a march. This is going to be a larger one.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I'm saying what is the end result? Are we marching when we get to where we going? Is somebody going to have a bill that we can sign to stop them killing us, or is this just another march?
Long game.
I don't need to be there. If that's all we're going to do is get some speeches from some people, we're going to get riled up like we in church and we're going to feel good about being there. I don't need that, bro. I don't personally need to be a part of that.
But there could be a bill being signed at the end of that. There could be.
But it could be. Or we could be just doing a march on Washington again, like we did 60 years ago. Like, I'm just saying, for me, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, for me personally, I'm not riled up about it. It does
sound like you're knocking it, though.
I'm not riled up. I'm not going. I'm just saying I'm not going.
Sound like me.
You said you're going to be there. I'm not going.
But Jay, look, what he's trying to say is, what's the agenda? If we're going to march, we need to have an agenda.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't know what the agenda is. So I can't say what they will or will not be doing there. I just know that there's a march. I'm going to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hopeful and prayerful that there is an agenda. And it just doesn't say, hey, just come to the city and stand around. I'm hoping that there are going to be some things that are going to be set in motion as a result of this.
Well, I could be honest. Every march has been the same thing that around the country. We're going to put a fist up. We're going to say, some great guest speakers, some celebrities.
So again, what do y'all suggest then?
Hold on.
You don't like the marches?
No. I'm giving the layout. You're going to have your VIP section of the celebrities sitting out front for the photographers. And, we're going to get some good old fashioned preachers. I think get us riled up. There's gonna be a choir there because we'll do nothing without singing. There'll be a couple of singers there, and that's what's gonna happen. because, and I'm not knocking it either, because I would go if I had nothing else going on that weekend. So, Feezy, I'm with you. I'm just worried about the elders who go down there in this COVID thing that we don't talk about no more. Right. I mean, that's one facilities. I went to the inauguration. I don't know where they're going to be down there pissing at, using the bathroom at, and worried about COVID, because it's a lot more goes into this than people ain't really thinking about. But that's a whole other story.
I agree. I agree with that aspect of it. The COVID.
But what I'm saying is, unfortunately, every protest that's been going on around America, I mean, that I've seen, I haven't personally been, but I've seen on TV, and I've been to marches and protests before. Honestly, it's the same old love song. Let's be honest. It's the singing, the choirs. Oh yeah, don't forget about "We Shall Overcome." We're gonna sing that together. We definitely gonna sing that. It's gonna be the preacher. Then we're gonna go home. That's what you're gonna be inspired. You'll be motivated, inspired. You know, you go back home to your communities, get involved, because you will be inspired. But that's what's gonna happen.
But look, I'm for the march too. I don't mind my people coming here and shutting it down. I just think between now and when the march is, hopefully we have some type of leadership that can develop some type of agenda that when we get to the march, we just not doing the same thing over and over and over again. We need like Diddy shocked the world with his statement. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he needs to be one of the coordinators of the march. Because, I mean, the main issue we talking about injustice and the racism thing, well, I mean, the culprit of that is the system. So, again, if we're going to march on Washington, we need to have an agenda to what? Change the system. So if they have a program in place to do that, then, yeah, I'm for the march. The march will be effective. But back to Lowe's point and Nas point, if we just come in here to sing Negro spirituals and eat, I mean,
honestly, I completely agree with you. I mean, there needs to be an end game. There needs to be like my Sans just said. I would like to see like, hey, these are some legislative changes here in this city at that big building over there that needs to happen. And we got some signatures, we got petitions, we got letters, we got this. We need to see it happen now. That's what I would. I totally agree with that. But I'm not. I think any and everything that can be done should be done. This is just one thing.
That's true. That's true too.
I'll say this, man. I tend to side with Nas. I think that the march is cool, strictly on the strength of just keeping the momentum going. And you know, like if there's marches and protests all up until August, then cool. You know, we just keeping the momentum going. We keeping the conversation going, cool. But outside of that, you know what I'm saying? I'm a quote what one of my favorite rappers, Pac, said, man. He said, man, how we marching? And he said this back in 92. He said, how are we marching on the anniversary of another march? It don't make sense. So, you know, I'm with you, my brother.
And please do not forget what Lo is saying. Like if this COVID is for real, what we think it is, then by the time it's election time, people gonna be so sick they ain't gonna be able to go and vote.
I agree.
Check the time. Check.
Like we gotta be smart. We gotta be smarter than this. Like we can't put ourselves in danger. Harm's way. It's already going to be hard as hell to get these votes in as it is. They already talked about that. We saw what the primaries were in Georgia. Hours and hours in line and trying to vote when there's only like 2 or 3 people in there working. Like if this thing is for real, folks gonna be hurt.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You made a good point, and that's a whole other conversation earlier when you was talking about the news and the coverage. You know, they call that shit programming for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And they're not covering COVID at all. COVID don't even exist. If you turn on the TV now, all it is protests. Ain't nobody giving a shit about COVID. So please, our people, everybody out there, the world, pay attention to your local dashboards of your state and whatnot. Check out the cases because they are going up in certain states. I anticipate them going up in my state of Maryland. We are in the DMV, so I know people have been out here protesting locally, so I know that those cases are going to start going up.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, it's just
where y'all governors at? What happened to the everyday update from the governor?
Oh, bro, DC still doing them. DC still giving updates on COVID.
I can't find DeWine right now.
Oh yeah.
Right. Where he at?
I ain't seen DeWine. I thought he was going for president when shit first jumped off. Now I can't find him.
Muriel Bowser, man, she be on it every day. She give an update every 2 days. And I mean,
Cuomo out here Cuomo writing stuff in the legislation as we speak. He trying his best to get that spot.
Well, if I can find DeWine, let me know, man.
So Coach,
is right foot jumping? I ain't seen right foot in a while.
She's killing it, man. You stupid.
Our director, DeWine's his right hand person to give him all the medical information. She was the director of department. She quit, resigned.
For
real?
Yes.
Damn.
She was cold too.
Yep.
Listen. All right, come on, man. We've been cooking for a minute. Let's transition. I want to talk next. I want to go in. I want to dive into sports, man. All of us are avid sports watchers, and I think the biggest takeaway or the biggest news to come out of the sports arena with everything that's happened is fucking Roger Goodell and the NFL, man, saying that they made a mistake in their approach of handling the peaceful protests. I mean, thoughts. Who? Fees, go,
yeah,
man.
Fees, this all you.
Go, man.
Goodell, for one, is full of shit.
Thank you.
He's full of shit. He only trying to save face now to keep them dollars in the NFL going. You know what I mean? And he's full of shit. I'm still looking for, man, as much as, listen, I love football. I love sports. I want these athletes to be like, man, we ain't playing. We ain't playing shit. Let me see some more African-American coaches get hired and start calling out names. And we're not playing. They understand. They control them dollars, man. And I'm looking for something like that to happen. You know, and
that's big.
My sport that I love, but I'm calling for the players to be like, man, we're not playing, man. I'm not playing. We control that league. We control all the major leagues. You know what I'm saying? Them players got more power than what they think. Fuck them owners, because Goodell he's a pawn for them owners. You know what I'm saying? He trying to protect his pockets and protect his dollars. You know, he don't give a shit. So that apology missed me with that.
So what you talking about is Kyrie and some shit. But even the players ain't fucking with Kyrie.
And to me, I'm sorry. If you've been in the league and you're depending on this season because you say you need money, then you got other problems, man. You should have been managing your money, man. I'm sorry, dude. You shouldn't. You should be able, for a cause like this, you should be able to not play, man.
Nah, don't talk about the bread fees. You can't do that, bro. I don't do that, man. Don't talk about them people they money.
You're right.
Not.
I'm not gonna say.
I can't let you do that.
So I'm gonna say this.
I'll say this. I'm for players not playing. I'm with Kyrie. If that's what he on, I'm on that too.
Yeah, but Kyrie get how much a year? What about 12 man?
I ain't gonna talk about nobody's bread no more.
Thank you. You can't do that. What about the 11th man who only get paid $300,000 but still taking care of 10 people?
Right.
You know what I mean? He need the season. Thank you.
So go, man. I want to hear your thoughts on Goodell, man.
Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna get on. I'm not gonna get on Roger Goodell. The motherfucker we really ain't talking about. What they have been talking about a little bit is your boy Jerry down in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Because
boom,
man, I'm trying to tell y'all, I done seen some cooning about Jerry Jones. Motherfuckers running to his defense and all that shit. And Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft are the most two influential owners in the NFL. Them guys get buckets for Goodell. It's like if you're putting your two horses in the game and you need buckets, Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft is the NFL breadwinners, right? So my thing with Jerry Jones is his silence to me just showed me his true colors. Believe that. And look,
the Cowboys, they I need to send it to the group, but the Cowboys, they sent out like a tweet, like a video saying like how they've been for supporting like black people in protests like from the beginning. It was complete bullshit.
Get the fuck out of here. So
I ain't seen that, bro.
Oh, I'm gonna send it to y'all.
So I'm gonna give Fee some props because I'm gonna talk about a Buckeye. All that bullshit he took Ezekiel Elliott through, all the bullshit he took, all them. And look, it seemed like every time a motherfucking black player want to get paid, Jerry got to play around with the words and say little snoggy little comments. But now we talking about Black Lives Matter and all that shit, and majority of his team is black. He ain't said one fucking word. So my thing is, outside of Goodell, Jerry Jones is a piece of shit too. He needs to say something. Fuck that. Or at least fake it. I mean, show me your true colors, at least fake it. But he just straight silent. You know what I'm saying?
Players should stop.
That shit crazy.
Don't even play.
Here we go.
But you know what?
I'm gonna read just to give a context to what I just mentioned. I'm gonna send it to the group. Cowboys tweeted on June 5th. The Dallas Cowboys began conversation about social injustice 2 years ago, and they continue to be ongoing. The recent killing of George Floyd and others illuminates the importance of continuing these efforts. Yeah.
Don't even play.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but we said Kraft, we said Jerry. So only coach I heard speak out about it was it the Dolphins head coach? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Brother,
he the only person, he the only coach I heard say anything about it, right?
Don't even play.
Stall me out on all that in the film.
Where you boy Tomlin at, Nas? What the hell going on in Pittsburgh?
Listen, don't even play. I'm gonna keep saying all of that. And this is the thing, man. Like everybody talking about, we in a different time, right? Everybody and the talk is like, sports brings people, gives people something to distract them, and we don't need no distractions for real. Like for real. I'm not watching. I don't want to watch no games. For what?
I don't either.
And this is the thing, like these people can put out as many little tweets and as little many commercials as they want. Who are you backing? Yeah. Where is your money going? Who signing these CPACs and all of this stuff? Come on, man. I don't care nothing about no daggone, you know what I'm saying? You doing some tweet. I don't care about no moment of silence. I don't care about you doubling back, Vision 2020 because, you right. We messed up. We dropped the ball on this. Nah, bruh. Where your dollars going?
That's it.
In this campaign, in this November, who are you backing? And if all of them cats is backing Trump, and until one of them come out and say they ain't, that's all I know. Yeah, so look, that's the case, I can't support that. I can't support you. And even though these black dudes is getting their bread, get your money. You're gonna get the money whether I watch or not. But I don't want to be entertained by that shit no more right now. I ain't on it.
Hold on. I'm not gonna just discredit speaking out. I'm not. We can't do that because the silence is what has got us here in the first place. I get you talking about the money and everything, but speaking out speaks volumes.
What do you mean speaking out? I didn't say nothing about not speaking out.
No, you said
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
You said not saying anything. You said that means nothing. You said where's your dollars going?
I'm talking about the owners. We talking about ownership. Who are you supporting? You can speak out and say this was wrong. We shouldn't have done this. But if you still supporting Trump, if you're not, you know what I'm saying? What difference does that make? It's just words. So you can speak out. Roger Goodell spoke out, but Roger Goodell blackballed
Yeah.
He blackballed.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? What do you say to people? Because I feel like it's a couple things happening. I could be wrong. This is where I'm asking for a correction. What do you say to people that are back in 45 because of money and tax breaks, and then to those who back him for the ignorance and the separation that he does as a divider? Because I think it's two different kind of movements there, and I think the people that you're speaking to about the bottom line, and he protects that as a business.
Hell of a question.
I don't know how to answer that, man, because I feel like both sides aren't changing their position regardless. You know what I'm saying? Democrats, like we said, Democrats fall in love, Republicans fall in line. That means that they are supporting whoever's backing their agenda, regardless of who it is.
Which is the bottom line.
It could be a piece of shit. They got a heartbeat. If they backing their agenda, they gonna back it. So,
and that's all I'm saying. That's all I agree with. I agree with that statement 100%. And that's all I'm saying is that you can have a Roger Goodell come out and say, we messed up, we fumbled the cat thing. But if you support and are backing this dude who is, and it ain't just for your financial gain. You actually believe what this cat believes in.
all right.
Right? Like, this ain't just, because you trying to save some tax dollars. And even if it is, at this point, that's where the line is drawn. You should be like, you know what? I would know I'm a Republican, and Republicans, they're geared towards my thought process and my financial bottom line. But at this moment, I got to separate myself from that.
This goes back to the equality.
Exactly. I was just about to say that, Dale.
And this was my point that I was making about Nike, man, because it's that simple, bro. It's just like, yo, I support black people. Don't just say for a marketing campaign, I support black people. If Roger Goodell really support black people, mention Kaepernick's name. You know what I'm saying? Or let's have some more black owners in the NFL. Let's have some more black GMs in the NFL. Like, that's how you support black people, man, by putting people in position. That's just it for me.
That equality that we were talking about on a path to true equality, it's going to take some sacrifice from the haves to let go of some of their haves, so the have-nots cannot be so much into the have-not status. That's the only pathway that we're going to be able to get to it. You make millions of dollars, let go some of them, let go some thousands. I ain't saying you got to get rid of your millions. Let go of some thousands. You know what I'm saying? For some of these programs that are helping the have-nots. That's going to lead you down to the path towards equality.
Okay,
listen. Point, correct me if I'm wrong, but Naz is saying that they're not willing to let up on their position. They're not willing to give us any of that power. So if you feel, if deep down you're not going to give up on any of that power, spare me on the black support. Like, just keep that statement. Like.
Okay, so check this out. Let's really think about this now. Let's think about the mental setup of an owner, of a billionaire, of these people we're talking about. They don't have the same empathy and thought process that we wake up with every day, right? Every decision they make controls, other people's livelihood, whether they go left or go right. These people aren't ordinary people. So, as I'm saying that because these are some, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet type people. And when I say some eggs, I mean the whole carton. They don't give a damn about the next man because to get inside that place, you had to hurt a lot of feelings. I mean, I hate it. I mean, like you really had to make some decisions that cost people, their livelihoods to get where they are. So yeah, why would they give up power? Power is never going to be given up. You wouldn't give up power if you was in place. I wouldn't give up power if I was in place. I get it. So unfortunately, I'm not saying equality and change is ever going to come. Maybe one day, but nah, people aren't giving them the power no time soon, man.
All these players should not even play, man.
So what do you?
That just speaks to the point, though, Lo. Like, you want me to take Roger Goodell's statement as some kind of substance? Like, it ain't nothing, because he ain't never changing. He didn't. It's only because it's convenient, and now everybody putting the brakes on people because of this movement. So everybody got to step in line a little bit. Everybody got to say a little bit.
Everybody got to say something.
Nerves. But yeah, but that's my whole point, is that they not going to give up the power, right? And why should I follow them, make them more money by supporting something that I know that they don't even care about us for? They got people on their own, they got people on their own roster that have had incidents with police and have never really even spoke up about it. So why should I take his word now?
Right. What I'm saying is, this is nothing new, though. This is something we've always known. Right.
I think the difference now is that they're trying to speak up and pretending like they supporting black people.
That's it.
I don't think they are, though. Honestly, I think he just said, Colin Kaepernick, we were wrong. I think the statement he made, he thought we was going to take it and shut up and get ready for the season. No. By
saying
if none of this would have happened,
I'm just saying whatever you need to say to just kind of fall in line with the trend by saying we fumbled on the peaceful protest, but that doesn't mean anything. If you really cared about the empowerment of black people, man, you would mention Kaepernick's name. You would give up some of that power that we know that they're not going to do. So if you know that you're not doing that, then why make a statement? Like, that's
what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if they haven't gave up power, done anything to this point, why do you think? Why are we thinking that this instance in life that now all of a sudden something's going to change? We still watched football last year. We still supported our teams last year. Now y'all mean to tell me just because this happens today and the times now that something just is going to change? No, this has been going on. It's the trend. It is what it is. Of course, Goodell had to say something because the players would have probably been down his neck over this.
I thought that was big too, man. The young guys making that video and coming together. I thought that was that put extra pressure on the NFL to do something. So I thought that I appreciated that strategy move that they did.
I appreciate it too. Let me make sure I say that. But Cap was right, bro. So why the hell ain't more people speaking up and saying, yo, we want Cap to get a job and then take a knee? Like, yo, if it's really a player's situation, y'all backing each other. If Pat Mahomes was like, yo, I ain't, until he gets signed, I ain't coming back.
Right.
Bruh, take that kind of stance. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it because I don't want to belittle it. I'm just saying this whole thing, if you couldn't say, I wouldn't even be saying this if Goodell said they mishandled the situation. Okay, if you mishandled the situation, one, should have been an apology for the Cap in there. And two, behind the scenes, if they're not already doing this, figuring out how he can get some type of legitimate workout. In that, I could have been like, yo, I would have appreciated Goodell if he'd been like, yo, we mishandled it. We want to also apologize for Cap because he was ahead of time, before his time, something like that. And then been like, yo, with that said, we would love to extend this opportunity for Cap to have a true workout to come back. They ain't even had to sign him. If he would have just added that to the damn conversation, it would have been different.
And that's what people were saying when Pete Carroll made his little we was real close to signing Cap. And then people was commenting on it like, well, so call him now then. Call him now and offer him a job. If you sorry,
I gotta. And man, let's take and for me, man, let's take it a step further, man. Like, and no disrespect, because I agree with what you're saying, G. Like, I think that he deserves a formal apology by the NFL about what happened. But
give him a job.
Miss me on him getting a job. How about some black coaches, black personnel, black owners?
Long game.
Redo this Rooney Rule. Like, y'all got the power to do it. So, like, let's go, man. Like, storm me out on Cap. Give me something that's going to be substantial for the long haul. Cap did his job.
Owners.
Cap made Cap did what he was supposed to do. He was a martyr. He laid on the sword. He lost his career. We all know he got blackballed at this point, right? I mean, they just came out and admitted it. You fumbled the ball on it. So what you're saying is you were wrong. You lied. You blackballed this guy and took his livelihood away for no reason, right? Give him that apology, but let's really do some real change then.
But to Lowe's point,
call it the Kaepernick rule now instead of the rule.
But to Lowe's point, Lowe is basically saying, because I think we talk in the circles. We all saying the same thing. I want substantial change, long game shit, black owners, black executives, black coaches, and Lowe's point is they're never going to do that. They're never going to give up their power. They're never going to let up on their position. No one is willing to forfeit their power.
So why support? Like the NFL is in a position to, they can do short game in the NFL.
Hell yeah.
They can do short game. You know what?
Short game. That's
coaches being hired.
Yes.
There's a reason why your league is predominantly black, and you ain't got no coaches that reflect that. That's ridiculous.
That's all I'm saying. Why support it?
They can make that change now.
But owners too. I mean, they ain't got no owners. That's black.
Hold on. So we ain't gonna talk about what was that? Came about 2 or 3 weeks ago about something with the draft. Y'all remember that with the draft, before the draft, you would get but oh my goodness! You know what I'm talking about? Come on,
yeah. They came up with some bogus shit where it said if you hired a black coach, you get some draft incentive, like you could move up so far in the draft. Like that's bullshit right there. Like
that's some slavery shit.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? It ain't never gonna change.
That's some slavery.
They was dead serious though. They
really said that like that was a great idea. Like what?
Motherfucking two Negroes. Look, 2 for 1 Negroes. If you
they need to get rid of that rule, make it a Kaepernick rule or something like that. But they have the ability to have a short game here and start hiring some people. I'm gonna be honest. The owners, being black owners, that's gonna be tough because a lot of teams is family owned, and they keep that in the family. So unless the family just gets completely wiped out, they're going to pass that down to the grandson, who's going to pass that down to the grandson, who's going to pass that down to the grandson. So we wasn't at the table when the FL and the NFL started up. So that's going to be difficult. That's one of them owners sells their team like some sports do. Because that's how the owner in Tampa Bay, Khan, that's how he became owner. Because that longtime owner of that franchise gave up the rights. So, but like the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, that been in that family forever. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to do that. The Bears and with the Giants, no. As long as they having kids, ain't nobody getting that franchise.
But let me ask you this though.
But coaches, they can change that.
Right. But hold on though. So Charlotte did just change ownership, right?
They did.
I'm interested to see what colored organization or man went after Charlotte.
He's a white dude. I can tell you that. Diddy and them was trying to buy the Panthers a couple of years
allegedly. Ago. Allegedly on social media. Allegedly. I want to know on paper.
He said it out his mouth. He said it.
No, what I'm saying on social media, yeah, for sure. He said it, but he said it a couple times.
You're saying like he actually put a bid in, is what you're saying.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. I wonder who really tried to go after to get the Panthers.
Because even Serena, didn't she have like a stake in the Dolphins?
1%, or half a point.
I mean, that's the thing, man. This is like owning a sports team is for the wealthy is like having another extra car or something.
Yeah,
it's like Jason said, because it's been passed down, and that's the real good old boy system. Like most people gotta come in as a group with 5, 10, 15, 20 people to buy them joints, because you see what the worth has gone up now because we made it popular. Black people made it popular. Teams used to be worth, $500,000. Now they worth $700 million.
Yeah.
And it's all off the back of black athletes. Literally. Like, we literally have built up these NFL,
just
NBA,
like America.
That's why
on our backs. On our backs.
Check the shirt, Lo.
All I'm saying is
that's why they should not
support
play.
it. Why support it if they ain't willing to make the next?
Exactly. Dell shirt says it all.
For free, goddammit. The whole
That's
thing.
hot, man.
That's why they should not play.
So Kaepernick. So I mean, Lo gave him praise earlier, man. This brother, bigger. His movement is bigger than football. I mean, I have a theory on why I believe that the NFL will never acknowledge that they blackballed him. And I feel like that they will never acknowledge that they blackballed him because they're in litigation. They have cases against each other. And I feel like if they ever admit that they blackballed him officially, they got a lot of money that they owe that brother. So what do y'all think is going to happen now with Cap? What is his what should be going on? What should Cap be doing? What should the NFL be doing? What's next?
I think Cap needs to stay on the activist tip.
I think he already has. I think
just because, I mean, again, we just talked about the NFL season's not going to be shit. I mean, COVID's out here, and again, he's been out. Let's be realistic. He's been out the league for so long. I mean, I'm not saying he's not
5 years.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the same guy.
Okay, so reinstate his pension plan then.
Right. I was gonna say that, like, they in order for him to get justice, give him a pension, and then
he cut him a check though.
I think he needs to stay. He needs to stay on the activism stance and keep pushing all that bullshit the NFL been doing. He needs to be the face of that shit. He needs to make sure that, that anytime they try to snake somebody else like him or do black players wrong, he needs to be the face of that shit to make sure that shit don't happen again.
Right. I agree with that. Lo, you was real critical of Cap, man. Tell me what made your position change.
Well, I was critical of him.
Yeah, man, that shit hurt my heart. I can't even front.
I was thanks. I was real critical of him because I didn't understand what he was doing. I mean, I understood, but I didn't understand. I mean, we talk about social injustice and all this stuff. I mean, as a black man, clearly, I I get the social injustice part of it all, but the whole knee thing, I didn't get it. I mean, I wasn't by myself, It was like really like what are we like what are we doing? Then people start saying we're boycotting this, boycotting that, but the boycott. People say they were boycotting something, but there wasn't no agenda, organization behind the boycott. Like, what is the end game? Like, what are we doing? It was like something that was cool to say, cool that we was doing. So that kind of like I didn't understand it and didn't get. But at the end of the day, yes, I mean, I was wrong about about his stance, his take, and his motive, and his quote unquote protest. I mean, I was at this point. I mean, I would say is that like Ming's right. He needs to be an activist. I believe he is bigger. Actually, I don't think we know how big Cap is. I think like he needs to come back out and really, be on the front lines with this, and really take over, because now he can have a movement that everybody get behind because we get it. You know what I mean? Like everybody gets it now. I think he's really another one that damn near could be bigger than MLK. Like, because we talked about being the sacrificial lamb. He sacrificed everything. And we talk about an NFL player, who's played a sport from 4 or 5 years old his whole life, to give up something that you truly love is football. I ain't talking about the money. I'm talking about something that you love. Cap just wanted to get back on that field. He would have signed a deal for $300,000 just to get back on that field. But to sacrifice that for the greater cause, man, let's get up your life, man. So
just think it would be if these players didn't play.
It ain't gonna be like that. But why say that? Because they are gonna play, man. Like everybody ain't got the balls of Cap. Like fees, you at the casino. Is everybody gonna walk out if some? Have you seen like how strikes? Let's say like strikes work. You know, like you got say 100%, 20% of people is unhappy. They're gonna try to get the rest of the people to walk out with them. Then you got another 25% who don't know what they want to do. Then you got just the other people who want to stay. Ain't nobody ever get on the same page.
I mean, you're right. I mean, I'm just saying when I say that I know it's not going to happen, but just the thought of it will be awesome because that's where it hurts. It would hurt.
Cap need to keep them vultures away from him too.
Like who?
When I say vultures, I mean motherfuckers is that got their own agenda. They not really down for whatever movement, and they just trying to put themselves in a position to make money. I don't like that component.
You got a name?
Nah, I don't want to throw no names out there, but I'm just saying there was a lot of motherfuckers that profited off Cap because they was just trying to, get their name and get their face on camera, just like we talked about before, to make it seem like they was down for this shit and they was down for sacrificing like he did, and all they did was cut deals and do some propaganda to get themselves paid. I just didn't like that part of it.
I was hip to them.
Who you talking about, man?
I ain't saying it. I ain't throwing that name out there. I ain't throwing no name out there. But they know who they are if they're gonna listen to this podcast.
Any any thought? What is No, I ain't gonna say his name either. Never mind. I didn't say enough controversial.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't say enough controversial.
Call them out, man. Call them out.
Because I say it like this. It's a couple stands on here for that nigga, and I don't even want to throw his name out there, man. So no, thank you. You on mute, dog.
Geno, hey, your thoughts, sir?
I said type the name in the chat box. I want to know who you talking about.
Man, we ain't throwing no names out there. We good.
Oh shit. So what's the stands, man? So is everybody protesting? They're not watching the league this year. Naz, I know you ain't watching. Fees, it sound like you ain't watching. Everybody else, where y'all stands at?
I don't even fucking know. I don't even think it's gonna be a season. So
I'm gonna say what football season?
That's I ain't watching the NBA either. That bullshit in Disney World. I'm straight on that too.
Damn.
I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, look at you put Geno, ain't it?
Hey, I mean, dog, NFL I could do without, I'll be honest. If I had to, NBA,
I'm trying to watch the ball, man.
I don't know about the NBA, but what I'll say is, damn. I got tickets to Monday night game with the Bears and the Rams in the new stadium. I literally got my tickets. So what am I supposed to do?
Sell them?
Yeah, I'm gonna sell them.
You can't go, man.
I'm gonna sell them.
I ain't gonna be fanless games.
But what? Okay, so all right. So here's the question: if I'm doing
that, cap the quarterback.
Doing that. If we're doing that, the question is, what are we trying to gain? Just like we asked about the March. So I'll know what I'm putting off watching the NFL. What's the gain here?
Fantastic question.
So I can have something to gauge it by, because if
agenda, organization.
I want to see somebody. I want to see these teams do some promotion within of some black players. I mean, of some black coaches. I want to see that, and then you'll get me back.
What you're saying is that's a long-term goal. So that's
I got to be long-term, G.
Oh no, that's short-term.
Okay.
They hire coaches every season.
Let's quantitate. Like how many coaches are you looking to be signed? So we can understand. So it's clear.
If there are 10 openings, I need 5 coaches out them 10 openings.
Word.
I agree with that.
That's reasonable.
It's 30 teams in the league. Shit, you need a third of your league to have black coaches.
There's at least 10 openings every season.
So what you're telling me is every time that they come out with openings at the end of each season, 50% of it they have to be black. That's basically what you're saying.
Look how many, man. Listen,
I'm asking. I just want to.
No. I know. No, I'm gonna answer it. G, hold on. I'm gonna answer it. I'm just passionate about that. I look at it like this: your league, your players are predominantly black. Most of them go into coaching. All right, they're good. A lot of them have the know-how and the meticulous methods that you need to be a coach. So then that means, yes, if every year I need half of them openings to go to black coaches. Yeah, you damn right. Yes. And I think that's doable.
Are we talking about head coaches fees?
No, the major coaching roles: offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the line coach. I'm talking about major coaches.
But okay, I think we'd be better off fit with all around coaches for the simple fact. Can you name me 5 ready to go African American or colored coach ready to go right now?
Eric Bieniemy in Kansas City. That's one. There's a dude. I don't have the names. I don't have names for you. There's a dude in Carolina. There's a Perry Fuel, who's been a defensive coordinator. He's been trying to be a head coach. True. Okay, that's 3. Who else? The dude in San Diego. It's a dude for the Chargers. I'm
with you, Fees. I was just saying, like, I think we just got to get them. Just enroll. Quarterbacks coach. All that. I don't want to say just for me. I know you said for you a major role. We got to start somewhere. That's all I'm saying. I think just getting.
No, the thing is, they're getting those jobs. They can be line coaches. They can be quarterbacks coach, but it stops there. Get them into the coordinator role, because the coordinator role is going to get you to the head coaching job.
Hey, Lo.
You very rarely see a guy. You can't go from being a quarterbacks coach to a head coach. You got to be a coordinator.
Hey, Lo. I'm gonna take it further, man. Hey, I'm gonna take it further, Lo.
Yeah, you're right. Hey,
man, look. I get the coordinator positions, and I know it's a learning curve and all that shit. It's like you got to be a historian, then you can be a ADP, then a dean,
right?
Whatever the fuck. But some dudes have talent, bruh. If they're leaders, they need to be head coaches. I don't give a fuck about that lineage shit. Because again,
agreed.
I'm being honest. I mean, they give these white motherfuckers head coaches. It's motherfuckers in college football that were college football coaches for like 2-3 years, and they end up being head coaches in the NFL. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so agreed. I mean, no, I'm not trying to hear that. Let the brothers get the same respect, the same opportunities that these white coaches get. Period. Fuck that.
Plain and simple.
And to answer your question, I think that's something that can happen pretty quickly. Maybe not this season, because the hiring period is pretty much over. But at the end of the season, it's going to be some people that's going to get fired. Like, it happens every single season.
Dog, it's about to be interesting just to see how the sports thing is just handled in general. I mean, like, as if the NBA comes back, you're going to have all of these things is going to be running at the same time. You're going to have the NBA, you're going to have the MLB, you're going to have college football. I just don't see it. And then social distancing, I don't know. This is going to be interesting.
What happens when Tom Brady gets COVID? Like, does the league stop? This is weird, man.
Shit is weird.
Is that what's going to take? Is that what it takes, though?
Yeah. Let Tom Brady get COVID. The NFL season will be over with immediately.
Yeah. Niggas. Yeah. I mean, niggas touching. Let me shut it up. But it's gonna be interesting to see, man. For real. So, but yeah, man. So, this is another one. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying. I know Nas touched a lot of people in the first protest podcast by showing his emotions and shedding some tears. We didn't get to that point this time, man, but you know, we're glad y'all tuned in, man, but we couldn't take it there, but still a healthy conversation, passionate, emotional conversation that I hope resonated with the people out here, man. And look, at the end of the day, we all differ. I think we all have disagreements, but at the end of the day, man, I feel like we all got the same goal, and that's just for our people to win. And that's just it, you know. So much love to that. Much love. Hold your fists up. Yeah, that's what's up. That's right. We want them to win, man. But yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Fees, hold up. Everybody do it. Fees.
Yes.
He wasn't looking.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Somebody need to get a picture of that.
I got you.
You got it?
Hold on. Don't move. Got it.
Power to our people, man. That's what it is.
So yeah, listen, and we say power to our people. You know, we ain't down on no other race. You know, we just bigging up our own.
Not at all.
Exactly.
Not at all. It is nothing. Just because we say power to our people don't mean that we anti nothing, man.
We just want a seat to all of the. Just pull me a seat to the table. That's all we want.
That's it. Couple seats. We entitled to that. Read what the shirt say. We built it for free.
Sans, that shirt is dope, bro.
We built it for free.
You know what I'm saying? Or don't give us a seat. Just don't destroy us when we get our own seat with our own table.
Talk that talk, man.
That too.
Talk that talk, man. So yeah, this is no diss.
Cut that check too.
These are just six brothers on here that are just proud to be black. I'm unapologetically a black man, and I love it to my bone, to my core. You know what I'm saying? So
soldiers.
Yeah. So straight up. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Again, like, subscribe, comment, engage, all that stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend. If you ain't heard about us already, man, come with the PCP boys and get your fix. We mess with you. We love you. We love our black people, man. Come get a fix, man. We love y'all. Peace and love. We out.
Peace.
PCP, peace and love.